So hello everyone, it's your girl Gel Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today I figured we could talk about some palettes with deceiving color stories. So what I mean by that is, you know how you look at a palette and you try to decide what eye look you can come up with, and then you decide an eye look and you start putting colors on, and then they start oxidizing and then they're not the same colors they were in the pan. That's what I mean by deceiving color stories, because it's like I planned this eye look out knowing that this color was supposed to look like this, that it looks like in the pan. But then I went to go put it on my eye and it don't even look like that. So it's like, excuse me, what is this? Like this is not what I signed up for. I need to speak to a manager because this is not what I was expecting. And I have a complaint to file. So I'm going to start off with the palette that inspires this video. And I feel like if you watch this channel, and as much as I bitched about this when this palette first came out, it should be no surprise what palette I am talking about. It is the Glam Light Ice Cream Dream palette. So if you all remember, when I did my eye looks, I was talking about how these colors, the pastel ones, did not look the same as they did in the pan. And some of these lighter ones, some of these deeper ones up here didn't look the same either. So I felt like this whole palette just oxidized. And when you put it on the eyes, it was a different color than it was in the pan. So I was like, what is this? So this palette just totally disrespected me. And I did a look with it recently just to try to give it another chance, because I had already did like I think 3 or 4 looks with it before, and I was like, yeah, this ain't working. So I was like, since I've been changing up my style a little bit of the way I do my eyeshadow, I was thinking hopefully it would work. It still didn't work. Like, it just, I don't know what it is about this palette, but I think it's mainly that the color storage deceives me, and then I just don't necessarily like the formula of their colorful mattes, because like their neutrals are fine. I worked just fine with the pie palette and with the chocolate donut palette. So I'm thinking maybe I should stick to them when it comes to neutrals. But the thing is, the cake palette works just fine for me. It's just this palette that I seem to have a problem with. And it didn't help that the colors changed according, and they weren't the same as they were in the pan when I looked at it and had planned my eye look out. So that's what inspired this entire video. But I do have a few more palettes to talk about. So next we're going to go into the Poppy Cosmetics Neon Dream Drip palette. Now, look at this color story. It's absolutely gorgeous. But all these colors go on the eye sheerer than they look in the pan. So to me, that's why it's deceiving. And then these mattes, I feel like they don't build on each other that well. They're just light washes of color. And I want like impactful power in your face color. And no matter how I pack these colors, I feel like they just don't do that for me. So that's why this is a deceptive palette to me. Because you're looking like, oh yeah, I got all these bright colors. Finna have this amazing look. And it's like, no sis, you're not. Like, this ain't doing that. No, I've done like 3 or 4 looks with it and it still has not given me that. So it's just like, yeah, no. So it just sits in a drawer and, you know, lives there. But it never built up, especially this green. I was truly disappointed in this green and this green. The other colors did okay, but they were more like topper things. And we all know, again, I'm not big on that. So I feel like that's why this palette is deceptive, because you think you can get quite pigmented and colorful looks with it, and you're not getting that. You're going to get light washes of these bright ass colors, which I wasn't feeling. And if you do have to build it up, you probably have to build it up so much to the point where it's like you get tired of playing with it. It's no longer fun. It's just the aggravation. You want to get the look done so you can take your Instagram picture and go on with your life. Because I know that's how I felt about it. Okay, so the next palette I have is the Colourpop Fade to Hue palette. So with this one, I feel like, well, I know like when it comes to sequin shades that, you know, the sequin doesn't usually stay. But that's why I'm like, what is the point of having them in here? Because it's like, I used this one to pat all over the lid and then the sequin didn't stay and it disappeared. Same thing with this one. I patted all over the lid and the sequin disappeared. And then like some of the shades in here I feel like don't match true to color. Like this red, I felt like it didn't truly look red. Like this tone of red when you put it on your eye. And then this green was difficult to blend out and didn't, again, look the color I expected to. And it was really patchy when I tried to make it work. The blues and the purples worked fine. It was just this green that truly disappointed me. And I think the yellow wasn't as bright as I wanted it to be either. But again, with the melanin I have, that could just be the fact that I am darker and the base I use. So I'm not really faulting the yellow. It's just more of the red and the green I felt like didn't work the way I wanted them to, which was kind of deceiving in my personal opinion. So that's why this palette is in there, for those aforementioned reasons. Now, that's what I have is the Artist Couture Caliente palette. So I feel like this one was deceiving just because I was expecting the Brillo shade to be way more impactful than it was, and it's like a topper shade, and then it's like a sheer topper shade. So I'm like, topper shades I feel like usually have more impact and more glitter and all that, And I feel like this doesn't do any of that. So let me swatch it so you can see what I'm talking about. Because see, look at my finger, you will hardly see anything. And then you swatch it on my hand, like where do you see the impact in the shimmer? Like I noticed that it was sheer, so I figured it was a topper shade, but I figured it'd be like impactful topper shade. Like I feel like this isn't anything. Like I swatched it and it was like, where do you see it on my hand? Because I don't even see it on my hand and I swatched it. So like I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, I wasn't feeling it. So that's why I feel like this one was kind of deceptive. Because it's like, it looks like it's going to be impactful and like have a whole bunch of sparkles in it and stuff. But when you see when I swatched it on my hand that it's not giving you much of anything. So it's just that shade in this palette. Because the palette works fine overall. You all just saw a video yesterday of me using this with a full face of Latino owned brands video. So it wasn't that, it was just more of, I don't like that shade Brillo. But I think I said that in that Latino owned brands video as well, that I wasn't feeling that. Let me see, who's texting me? Okay. So Adriangameover is coming home tomorrow after he finishes stuff for school, apparently, according to his dad. So the next palette we have to talk about is the Mented Cosmetics Ho Holidays Naughty palette. So I feel like some of the shades in here didn't ring true to color either. Like, for example, this Candy Fruit shade, it looks like it's going to be really impactful, but it's quite the sheer Topper S type shade. So with this one, it just looks like, I feel like it's deceiving in the pan, because it makes you think it's going to be really shimmery and impactful, when really this is just a topper shade, and I had to scrape the crap out of it in order to get it on the lid to make it look halfway decent, and then wet the brush and all that and put on a million layers. And then my eyelid just felt really heavy and cakey because I had to do all that because it looks deceiving in the pan, like it's going to give you a lot when it's not. The same thing with this spiced cider shade, from what I remember, it not being that impactful. But and I think this sugar plum shade, it pulled out a little more grayish purple than it does in the pan. And this shade, I feel like, again, didn't pull true to shade in the pan either. So that's why I include this palette in here. The palette overall, for the most part, the colors were true. It's just I found those few colors to not be true to their tones. So that's why I included it in here. This palette is great in quality though. I put one in the giveaway that I did on Instagram around Christmas time, so that's why I thought it was good enough. It's just more of those shades disappointed me when I actually used my palette. The next one I have is the Khaki Haze palette. So with this palette, it's just more of, I feel like they tried to make these colors look like they're going to be deep and impactful, make the shimmers look like they were going to be really foiling, and they weren't. But I feel like she's been doing that for quite a while now, so it's not like we all didn't know, but I'm still going to talk about it because, you know, I could talk about that with the, what is it, the lilac one as well, because she did the same thing with that one. It was a whole bunch of topper shimmer shades, and they look like they're going to be impactful shimmers in the pan, but they're really just a whole bunch of toppers, and then they don't give like a whole bunch of impact and shimmer, and she didn't give you a lot of shimmer shades to choose from in that palette, which made it an issue to me. But in this one, the mattes just didn't perform that well, and then I feel like they were as deep as they look in here. Like the colors were deceiving in my personal opinion, which is why I included this palette in here. Woohoo. Sorry y'all, everybody want to send me messages now that I'm trying to film something. But anyway, the last two palettes I have now, the interesting part about these are, I feel like they're deceiving in the pan, but in a good way for someone with my skin tone. And I say someone with my skin tone because these are both pastel palettes, and I feel like they're deceiving in the pan because in the pan they look light, but then when I put them on the eye, they're actually quite pigmented, and they actually show up on my skin tone with the right base. And a lot of pastels don't do that. Like, they'll still look ashy and chalky, and these don't. So these are good deceiving palettes for people my skin tone, and that's why I wanted to share them with you toward the end. So we have the Mented Cosmetics After Dark palette. As you can see, they send you stickers, and this is what I decorated mine with. I still have some stickers left over. I don't know what I did with them though. Adriangameover probably took them, because whenever they have like cute kiddish like things that they put in makeup sets, my son likes to take them from me. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're in Adriangameover's room somewhere, or he has done something with them. But anyway, this blue and this purple right here, I did an eye look with, and they looked amazing on the eyes. Like, I took pictures. I think I posted them on Instagram. I don't remember. I know I did a video for it, but I think I accidentally ended up deleting this, so you all never get to see it. But this palette, the pastels in here actually work for brown people, which was a shock to me, because it's like, pastels don't usually look that great on me, but these actually looked really nice. I know they still gave a little bit of ash and chalk because, you know, pastels aren't supposed to look they're blending well with my skin tone. I have come to accept that, but I still love them just the same. So this one and this one were really exceptional and worked really well for me. I need to try this blue out. I know this pink and this purple are going to work just fine. I don't really care about this shade. I need to definitely try this blue though. So maybe I'll do that today and just pop like this color here in the inner corner or something. But anyway, this palette works great with my skin tone, and it's because it has a deceiving deceiving pigment to it that makes me love it. The last one I have is the Ethereal Bloom, and I did just do a video with this one, so you all will see that video before you see this one, of course. This is what the palette looks like on the inside. This is his spring release. I really like this palette, and this mint shade right here definitely is deceiving in the pan, because it looks kind of dark, but it's even deeper when I put it on my lid than it is in the pan, which is really good for someone like me. So this shimmer is a little brighter than it is in the pan, which is interesting because this is brighter, but this is deeper. But it works to my favor and my skin tone. Same with this purple. To me, it looks kind of dark in the pan, but it's lighter on the lid. This one is, I feel like, true to color when you blend it out. And of course, all of these would work on my skin tone anyway. But I really like this palette because, again, it's another black girl pastel friendly palette that you can use if you're like me and love pastels, but you're brown and they don't love you back. But yeah, so these are all the palettes I had to talk about in my Deceiving Palettes video. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one.